All right, guys, are you ready for another episode of Get Woke, Go Broke? Well, if you're not, I'm giving you another episode now. Charlie's Angels 2019. They got woke and they went broke once again. And of course, the excuse was already built in by director Elizabeth Banks. This movie did terrible. It joins the ranks of Terminator Dark Fate as a box office failure. But however, as Terminator Dark Fate was a monumental disaster, Charlie's Angels said, hold my beer. This movie did way worse than Terminator Dark Fate. The movie only clocked in at 8.3 million in the domestic box office. That is just unbelievably bad. That is so horrible, guys. I'm just dumbfounded, but I can tell you this. The trailers for the movie did nothing for me. Nothing whatsoever. There was a lot of issues, I believe, with this movie, and one thing had to do with Kristen Stewart being in the lead as one of the angels. Kristen Stewart just is not a box office draw. She never has been. She never will be. She is considered really the Twilight girl, and that's not going to sell tickets. And she's not a very good actress at all. Have you seen her act? It's not good at all. But Elizabeth Banks, she had her excuse built in. This is the Hollywood woke narrative going on. She actually had this to say. She said, look, people have to buy tickets to this movie. The movie has to make money. If this movie doesn't make money, it reinforces a stereotype in Hollywood that men don't go see women do action movies. Okay, that is a flat out lie, guys. That is a complete lie. Now, the other box office flop this year, Terminator Dark Fate, they had a couple of movies, one especially called Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where Sarah Connor was kicking a lot of butt in that movie. People flocked to that movie. That's one of the most successful movies of all time. Also, just this year, didn't people show up to go see Captain Marvel? And if I'm not mistaken, didn't Captain Marvel make 1.1 billion? But yet men don't show up to see women's action movies. And with the MCU, the number one demographic is men. So people showed up to see Captain Marvel. Also, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie. That was a successful movie. People showed up to see it. I'm pretty sure that men showed up to see it. So Elizabeth Banks' excuse makes absolutely no sense. Woke Hollywood always has their excuses built in, but it has no substance. It has no weight because it's all a lie. If you made a good movie, maybe people would actually show up. If the marketing for this movie was good, maybe people would show up. But the same thing with Terminator Dark Fate, the marketing was bad. It was really, really bad. The storyline was bad. And apparently the reviews for this movie are so-so to not very good. So stop with the excuses. Remember what Brie Larson said? She didn't need a 40-year-old white guy to tell her what didn't work for her about A Wrinkle in Time. So she doesn't care about the opinion of men. So now all of a sudden, men's opinions matter when it comes to Charlie's Angels. But yet, you alienated the fan base. Think of this, okay? Charlie's Angels TV show came back out in the 1970s. The demographic for that audience was really men. It wasn't women. It was men. It was to see attractive women do action, kick a lot of butt, that kind of thing. That's why Charlie's Angels was very, very popular with men back in the 1970s. It was geared towards men. And now Elizabeth Banks makes a movie that's not geared towards men, but yet she's going to blame men for not showing up to the movie. Think of that. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either one or the other. Are you making a movie for men or you're not? This movie was not made for men. Apparently, this movie isn't even made for women because women didn't even show up to watch this movie. So what's the deal, Elizabeth Banks? You got to come up with a better excuse than if men don't show up, it's because pretty much she's saying men are sexist. That's not the case. Your movie made 8.3 million. It wasn't just men that didn't show up. Women didn't show up either. So if you're going to put the blame on men, make sure you put the blame on women as well. How about this? Put some of the blame on your directing. Put some of your blame on the story. I mean, think of that. It's never the fault of the director. It's never the fault of the story. You know, this goes back to the Rian Johnson Last Jedi. It wasn't his fault. It was that men were misogynist and that kind of thing. Same case here. It is all a lie. 2019 has really been a disaster for box office numbers. They were down. I did a video on it. I think I had said that the box office was down 9% from last year. And that's probably still holding true right now because we don't really have much to look forward to the rest of the year. Star Wars Episode 9 is coming out. Yes, that movie's going to make money. I don't think it's going to make nearly as much money as what Lucasfilm is hoping that it makes. But Charlie's Angels, Terminator Dark Fate, take a look in the mirror. It's your fault. It's not the men's fault. It's your fault for putting out garbage on screen. That's the problem. I've already said it before. Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. They want to take the easy way out on everything. The easy way out is always just to blame men. You can't continue to blame men. Eventually, you're going to have to take a look in the mirror and say, where did we go wrong? Why did we put out a garbage product? Why aren't people going to see this movie? Why aren't women going to see this movie? Think of that. Why aren't women going to see Charlie's Angels? This version of Charlie's Angels. Now, I did like the Matrixx Charlie's Angels movie back in the early 2000s. It was good. But they also had box office draws to that movie. You know, Cameron Diaz was in the movie. Also, Drew Barrymore and Lucy Liu. They were box office draws. I couldn't even tell you who are the other two actresses in this Charlie's Angels. And the only reason I know Kristen Stewart is because she's a Twilight girl. But I've already said she's not a good actress. Nobody shows up to see Kristen Stewart in any movie. Think of it. What other movie besides Twilight have people actually shown up to see her in the movie? I can't think of one. Same case here. This movie was doomed from the beginning, but yet, of course, blame men, Elizabeth Banks. And I'm pretty sure Hollywood is actually saying, you know what, she's right. It's all the men's fault. It's always men are to blame for everything. Always. You know, it's kind of like when you get a bad grade in school, it's always easy to blame the teacher. Oh, she wasn't teaching correctly, but yet you didn't want to do the work yourself. Same situation here. So guys, what do you think of this? Charlie's Angels flops at the box office. Same thing as Terminator Woke Fate. Same deal to me. But that's just my thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on this? Guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.